Hey, lady, don't just throw money at me and walk away. It's not how this works. No. See, I take your $5 and I give you back 5. What do I give you? How about 5 truths about the homeless? Okay? First truth. We homeless like simple food. So why does that volunteer lady in Evanston insist on giving us these sliced carrots with this Van de Ven spice from the East Indies? What the fuck is that? I mean, we refuse to take one bite of that spicy caramelized carrot dish and say, oh, my hat's off to the chef. No way. Huh. Second, we homeless are humorless. When you walk past us at the shelter, note the silence. You only think you heard us joking around. I mean, what do we got to be happy about? Oh yeah, being on the streets. It's hilarious. Third, we refuse to share our backstory. Backstory is bullshit. I mean, if it turns out that Eddie once flew jets for United, I mean, don't let that story get out. It spreads like wildfire. Oh, you know that homeless man who hangs out by the CB2 with those cute antique tensor lights? Well, he used to fly for United. Backstory is only invented by politicians to make them seem real. But remember, we homeless are running from, not for something. Besides, what do you care as you step over our bagged existence? 4, we homeless can't vote. No home, no vote. See, everybody knows that Eddie D lives under the Wilson Viaduct Bridge. Police, homeless people, drug dealers, everybody. But how's Eddie going to prove it? I mean, oh yeah, he's going to take out his iPhone and he's going to shoot a picture of his, bedroll and his signed Cubs poster and his Rick Steves videos. Besides, neither party cares too much about us ubiquitous, urban blighters. We're just so much debris to be swept up under like your Sub-Zero fridge. Hey, wait, lady, where you going? I got one more left. One more. 5th truth. We homeless are unreliable narrators. That means we're probably telling you lies because of our mental condition. I mean, let's Eddie D's a good example. When he was flying higher than a kite after 4 rums and cokes in his 787, as he was flying over the Virgin Islands, he'd go, Florida Keys! Loves joking with people. Hey, you know who else is unreliable narrators? People in power. Yeah, Eddie's going to vote out some of them politicians in the next election. Got a space for him right under my bridge. Yeah, put those trolls right there. It's great. Okay, lady, you can go. We're 5 for 5. Nice to meet you. Name's Eddie.
Perfect sandwich. Okay, Miley, don't panic. Remember the training videos? The perfect sandwich. Here we go. Start off with the bread. That's easy. Just put it down and cut the bread. Cut the bread. How the hell do you cut bread? Nope. Doesn't matter. I'll figure it out on the fly. Now, the most important part, meat and cheese. Nobody can mess up meat and cheese. It is the easiest thing in the world. I won't mess it up because if I mess it up, people will scream at me. But that won't happen because I won't mess it up. Meat or cheese first? The cheese, right? Cheese starts with C, as in, see, Miley, the cheese goes on first. No, the meat! Oh, because it's already spoiled, and we have to hide it, I think. Oh, God. Forget when I see it. It's hard to visualize meat and cheese anyways. Now veggies, that's easy to visualize. Just picture it. Oh, the green, juicy cucumber, the coarse orange carrots, oh, the fluffy purple lettuce, and of course, the sweet yellow tomato. Onions. Damn it. Where did the onions go? Okay. Here? Nope. On the top? Nope, that's too intense. Oh God, oh God. What if people want onions? Or even worse, corn? Oh my God, I forgot about the corn. Oh God, oh God. This is bad. This is really, really bad. I'm going to get fired. Oh. Calm down, Miley. It's just onions. And corn. And jalapenos. I haven't even done the sauces. The meat is all wrong. The bread is shredded. Oh. Pick up. Pick up. Oh, hey, Janet. Yeah, everything's great. Yeah, today, I know. Yeah, so excited. See you there, 8:30. Yes. Janet? Yeah, just one last thing. I quit!
The lake doesn't always freeze completely, but now and then a ice fisherman will set up out there, mostly just a stool and a cooler, sometimes a space heater. These inland lakes. The ice is never predictable. So this guy looks about 30. He's fishing out over a deep spot with a Irish setter lolloping around with him. I'm cooking breakfast. Spam and eggs. I'm not even really watching the lake. But then suddenly I see the dog break through the ice. Well, the guy jumps up, tries to haul the dog out, and he breaks through the ice too. Nobody else saw it. Just me. So I run out to the lake and onto the ice. I'm still holding my spatula in my hand. The dog is scrabbling around the edge of the ice, and I'm afraid I'm going to break through it too. But, I put my spatula down, grab the dog's collar, more to get him out of the way than anything else. Then the guy pushes from behind, and out comes the dog. Well, then I turn to try to get to the guy, but the ice is creaking, and the dog is barking and jumping around behind me. So I tell the guy, I'll go get some help. But he says, no, I really need some help right now. His voice was calm, like he was asking me for a cup of coffee. But he was panting, and something seemed to be pulling him under. So I yelled as loudly as I could. I was hoping maybe somebody would hear me or be looking out a window. Nobody came. I could see across the lake, the houses, cars on the road, moving about in the sunshine. So I take off my flannel shirt, slither onto my stomach, and I'm holding on to one of the shirt sleeves. I try to get the other shirt sleeve to him. We were looking directly into each other's eyes the whole time and talking very quietly. Even with all the barking. Can you grab it?
"No, I can't seem to reach it." Then the ice started to crack and I scrambled back because I didn't want to fall through too. So I turned to get the spatula. I figured maybe that would reach him, but when I looked back, he's gone. I mean, the spatula is there in my hand, my shirt is lying there on the ground, the dog's scratching at my leg. The guy never made a sound. He drowned. He drowned. When the emergency crew showed up, they hauled him out. His legs had gotten tangled in some weeds. I saved the dog. I saved the dog.
So, my dad was a magician. Well, I guess I should say. I mean, it isn't like his job or anything, but it's his passion in life. Seriously, I would walk into his study and be like, "Hey, Dad, what are you doing?" And he'd be like, "Pick a card!" Super aggressively in my face. And I was like, "Oh, okay. Still living out childhood dreams deferred. Got it." And you know what? I gotta give credit to the guy. He's actually pretty good. He would do tricks at my birthday parties and everyone was all like, "Ooh, ah." And they weren't even doing it to be polite. So, yeah. Pretty cool, huh? My dad loves the mystique of it. You know, how you could do a trick and everyone was like, "Oh man, how'd you do that?" And you could just smile and wink and be like, "A magician never reveals his secrets." Or whatever. That's the thing with magic. Some part of you always knows it's fake, right? Like the lady gets sawed in half and nobody's calling 911. It's safe. I mean, it's deception, but it's safe. And I guess I should have known that my dad was really good at pretending. You see, he was sick. Is sick, I guess, and not in a way that you can, readily see. I guess he has borderline personality disorder, which sounds really scary, and guess what? It kind of is, and I didn't know that until he tried to... Well, not to sound too flippant about it, but he tried to disappear, if you catch my meaning. And my mom called me and she was crying her eyes out and I was driving to the hospital and I was like, there is no way my dad, with all of his whimsy and laughing and doing all these stupid tricks, I mean, he couldn't have been that unhappy, right? I would have known. I should have known. But sleight of hand can be done in a lot of different ways, I guess. I don't know, and I know there's a lot that I don't know. I think about it all the time. It's like, whenever I close my eyes, I just see him, and I try to dismantle him and figure out where the sickness lies, because how is it possible that it's all of him? But when I got to the hospital and I saw him lying there in his bed, I just thought, this isn't all he is. This can't be all he is. And it wasn't a trick that he was doing when he was happy.
He wanted to be happy, and a lot of the time he was. And I sat next to him, and he couldn't look at me. It was like I had figured out one of his tricks or something, and he was like, I don't know, vulnerable, exposed. Don't pay any attention to the man behind the curtain, right? And it was awful. And I remembered my dad had given me this deck of cards for my birthday. I think he'd always hoped that I would suddenly become Harriet Houdini or whatever. But no such luck. Anyways, I fanned out the deck from him and I was like, hey, pick a card. And he gave me this look like, are you serious? And I was like, duh, dude. I mean, I didn't call my dad dude, but you get the picture. So, he picked up a card. He looked at it. I told him to give it back to me. I placed it right on top of the deck. And I lifted it right back up again. And I was like, is this your card? It was funnier in real life, I promise. And he just looked at me. And he was crying, but he was smiling too, like he couldn't pick one. And I just thought the amazing thing about being a person is you can be so many different things at once, because in that moment, I was so happy, but I was so, I mean, I don't even really know what I'm trying to say with all of this, just that watching a magic show is sorta an exercise in pretending, right? But some part of you believes that the world could be this big, beautiful place with all kinds of unexpected stuff in it, like pulling rabbits out of hats or pulling scarves out of your arms. No, not arms, sleeves. Or that you could sit next to your dad's bed after he tried to kill himself, and you could smile. I don't know. All I do know is that since that day, I've been different. Not in a good or bad way, just in a way. All that to say, I've been working on my magic skills. Yeah, skills with a Z. So, pick a card, any card, and don't ask me how I do it. It's magic.
Welcome to the Maya Awards, given by me, Maya, sponsored by vodka. Any vodka, just drink it. Our first award is the non-coveted Grimmy, also known as the Maya, why the hell can't you just let it go award. Nominees are, how many times do you have to rewrite an email? Don't you know grammar? It's whom, not who. And Ben, are you really going to wear that? The winner? Are you really going to wear that? Thank you! Thank you! When I said that to Ben, I wasn't thinking about how he would react or his feelings. I was just thinking, stripes. And he was thinking, bye-bye. Next up, the not prestigious, the Aloni, also known as the Drive Your Boyfriend Away Award. Nominees are
Sexting with Max. Letting Ben see the texts. Open relationship discussion with Ben. The winner? A three-way tie? Congratulations, Maya! You'll die alone. Oh. And we close tonight with the I'm a Phony Award, the self-destructive next step. Nominees are hook up with Max, beg Ben for forgiveness but refuse to fully commit, or vodka. Judges, this is a tough choice. Any one of these choices could be disastrous. But which is the absolutist worst choice? And don't you go changing your mind on me. That's my job. The winner? Vodka first, decide at 2 a.m. Thank you for coming to the Maya Awards. And a big shout out to Maya, without whose bad decisions none of this would have been necessary.
What did you say to me? What did you say? No, don't speak. You know, there aren't a lot of men with the nerve to ask a question like that. Oh, I know what's running through your head right now. You're thinking, how will she react? Will she think that I'm rude for getting so personal so soon? A real loser. Or will she think, whoa, this guy's refreshing. This guy's got balls. No, don't speak. Don't break the sexual tension, if that's what this is. Because if you talk now, you'll only start telling me how good you are, how big you are, how skilled you are, how much I'm going to love it, right? No, don't speak. I think we both know the answer to that. So, now what, Jim? No, don't correct me. If I want to call you Jim, that's who you'll be. Understand? Good. So, Jim, you gonna buy me a drink first or what? Excellent. Hendrix up in a shot glass, large twist. Okay, Jim, you have my attention. You've pulled me away from my girls' night out, so I guess you can say you've made quite the impression. So, what'd you have in mind? No, don't speak. Let me guess. I'll bet you want to come back to my place. Ooh, eager. That could be a good thing, On one hand, eager can mean that you're willing to do whatever it takes to make me feel really special. On the other hand, eager can mean that you're, well, let's just say too eager. Know what I mean? Of course you do. You seem like that kind of man. Okay, Jim, let's go. My kids should be asleep by now. I mean, especially the oldest. He would sleep 24/7 if I'd let him, but not to worry. He'll be asleep on the couch when we get home, so we won't have to worry about him. And my middle child, I mean, she's a girl, and girls can be such a pain sometimes. Not all girls, but she's a teenager, and do not get me started on teenage girls. So moody. But not to worry. She locks herself in her room at night and wouldn't come out if the house exploded, so we don't have to worry about her either. Now the twins? Well, geez, I mean, they're another thing altogether. The slightest sound wakes them, so we'll need to do it real quiet like, okay? Jim? Where are you going, Jim? Was it something I said? All right, girls, where were we? And where's that drink?
I can see why wives want to kill their husbands. I mean, really. Why do women put up with men anyway? All I asked him to do was move a freaking table into the garage. You see, we rent out a furnished studio apartment, and the new tenant already has a table. You know why he couldn't do it? Because the garage is too full. Yeah, I know. A lot of people have garages that are full of crap. But ours is set up for a garage sale, so I can sell the crap, so we can eat. And full of crap means that you'd have to move some of the larger pieces of furniture for sale, so we can stick in another piece of furniture to sell. He follows me and tries to apologize. I'll handle it, I bellow. So I go to the garage and I move the furniture to make room for the table. Fuck him, I mutter, wishing him dead. And does he offer to help? No. He sits on his lazy motherfucking ass and continues to read. I hate him. I hate his espresso. I hate his New York Times. I hate his fucking wasp ass. Bingo! New York Times subscription canceled. Take that, dickhead. Statin. Lipitor is a statin. If you stop taking it, how long would it take to clog up your arteries? Jam those blood-flowing veins right up. He's already had 2 heart attacks. Maybe I could serve him liver. Keep bags of vinegar and salt chips around. Swap out sugar pills for his Lipitor. Oh shit, it could take years. How to murder your husband. What the fuck do we need them for anyway? Particularly after they retire and start bringing in cash. Why do we need them, period? My Purple Passion vibrator has been my only sexual partner for more than 10 years. And I really don't need him. Of course, he looks great when you dress him up. And all my friends think he's wonderful. But hey, they'd still be my friends if he were gone. And if I killed him, there'd be this great outpouring of sympathy. More hugs and kisses than I've had in more than a decade with that self-centered, lazy, passive-aggressive shit. Google how to murder your husband. Go ahead, I dare you. Look at this. First thing that comes up, 15 ways to murder your husband by someone called Miss Salatine. Oh, here's a good idea. Bury a hand grenade under a bunch of weeds. My dickhead's an avid gardener. He pulls a weed, pulls a plug, splat, gone. A fucking garden he tends to more than me, gone. Freedom. Just one question. Where does a not quite over the hill white chick buy a hand grenade? Oh, here's a good one. How to murder your husband and other handy household hints. Damn, it's a novel. Speaking of novels, author of How to Murder Your Husband, is accused of actually doing it. Romance novelist is charged with murdering her culinary instructor husband for $1.1 million in insurance payments. Damn. I bet there are a lot of women who would like to have her balls, only not get caught. Here's another one. 10 ways to kill your husband. Damn. Another false lead. It's some comedy playing in podunk somewhere. InternetWeek.com has a great list of 9 rules to follow. First, buy up all the supplemental insurance you can. You might as well collect. Oh, it seems the key is to feed him all the shit he's not supposed to eat. Junk food, sugar, foods that are high in saturated fats. Yeah, right. I'd gain 50 pounds and look like shit at the funeral. Fat chance. Oh my God. There's a forum for ladies who want to kill their husbands. They call it justice. Whoa. Cast iron frying pan filled with hot bacon grease straight to the head. That's one breakfast to go. Oh my God, a lot of bitching here. Shards of glass and the pulpy orange juice? Who does that? One sick puppy. Finally, somebody posts something useful. The perfect murder. You get him to piss off somebody else and they kill him. Uh-oh. I better hide my research. I can hear him on the steps. I'll open up QuickBooks and look like the organized type A that I am, in contrast to his lazy, less than C type. The bastard. He comes in here, kisses me on the neck, and says, "Still working? Oh, put it away. You've done enough for the day." Then he tells me he's made reservations for dinner at that slow food locavore place I like in Princeton. We dine at 8, and there'll be a martini chilled with my name on it. What the fuck? Kisses on the neck? Reservations for dinner? Damn. Just when I make a plan and start to move forward on it. Well, the only thing constant in life is change. I guess I'll change for dinner.
You know, she asked me last night, "Mama, what happens to Tinker Bell?" The credits were rolling. I tried to appease her with some nonsense about a happy fairy island. At 4 years old, she could sense the bullshit. It's a good question, though, right? I mean, you've got Wendy and the Lost Boys getting adopted to a loving family. You've got Peter in Never Never Land playing with pirates and talking to mermaids. But what the hell did happen to Tink? I went and I actually pulled out that old book. Yep. I got to the chapter where Wendy and Peter are reminiscing about their exploits. Then bam! I found it. Wendy asks him about Tinker Bell. And I'm over here thinking, for sure, Peter's going to recall how she sacrificed her life to save him, how bold and brave this little sprite was. But no, Peter forgot. He fucking forgot. get this. He says, oh, there's too many fairies to keep straight. She's probably dead. What the fuck, right? I mean, I expect that from Wendy. After all, Tink did try to kill her a time or two. Apparently Wendy has let that go. But Peter? I know what you're thinking. Okay, well, now that he remembers, he'll do the right thing and save her. Nope. Let me remind you that fairies are saved just by believing in them. How long would that take him? Like 2 seconds? He used her and threw her away, spanked the fucking fairy dust right out of her, then poof, not even a memory. I don't think she's ready to hear what happened to Tinkerbell.
Falling off the truck, coming out, right side up. There's Mama. Oh, Mama, I went to town. Inside, outside, upside down. And that, kiddo, is the story of Inside, Outside, Upside Down, my favorite book of the Berenstain Bears. No, the Berenstain Bears. Wait a second, it's Berenstain. I'm sure of it. The Berenstain Bears. I mean, I've only been reading these books since I was your age, and yes, that's a long time ago, and I am positive it's Berenstain. The Berenstain Bears. I mean, this was my copy when I was a kid. Somebody must have changed it. It's got to be a misprint or something. I know. I'll check these other books. Berenstain. Berenstain? Berenstain? Berenstain, what the hell? Oops. Yes. Sorry. I know. Language. Daddy has to put a quarter in the swear jar. But this just does not make sense. My reality, it's always been the Berenstain Bears. If I'm wrong about that, what else about my reality am I wrong about? Am I in the town of Winnetka? Or is this Winootka? Is this the state of Illinois, or is it Illinois? Is left right and right left? Is backwards forward and forwards backwards? Am I actually talking to my child right now, or does my child not exist and I'm just delivering a monologue to some live audience? My God, it is inside, outside, upside down!
I go wherever he wants to go. It's what I was made for. To the grocery store, to the big house behind the wall, over down to Sepulveda Boulevard and back, up a hill, down a hill. It doesn't matter. I can get you there. Now, some of the other boys, they ride these imports. You know the ones I'm talking about, with the skinny wheels. Yeah, Danny looked one of those the other day. I think its name was LaPierre. Ugh. Those fancy Frenchies, they think they're so special. La Pierre, ooh la la. So what? So they're fast. Being fast doesn't count for everything. Besides, they look funny. You know, like a strong gust of wind could just knock them over. Nothing but gears and chrome. Now me, I'm sturdy. I'm reliable. I'm something you can depend on. And being dependable counts for something. I mean, it's not insignificant. And besides, I'm fast enough. I'll never forget, when Danny first got me, I had training wheels on. His dad made sure of that. So we're out in front of the house, me, Danny, his dad, and he starts guiding us along the sidewalk, one hand on my handlebar and the other on the back of Danny's seat, guiding us down the street. But my Danny, he's a fast learner. 2 days, that's all it took him. 2 days. And he started to get the hang of it. He was ready to go. No, he was raring to go, I could tell. So the day comes, it's time to take the training wheels off. We're on the sidewalk out in front of the house. It's me, Danny, his dad. It's summertime. It's hot. Everything around us is hot. The air, the sidewalk. His dad's wearing shorts and flip-flops. So the training wheels come off, and he starts guiding us down the sidewalk, one hand on my handlebars, the other hand on the back of Danny's seat. But Danny starts pedaling a little faster. And then a little faster, picking up speed. His dad tries to keep up with us, but Danny just keeps pedaling faster. His dad yells out, "Not so fast! Not so fast!" But he can't catch us. He can't catch us. Danny's pedaling faster and he can't catch us. Danny eases out in front of him, and he couldn't catch us. And at that moment, Danny was the happiest kid in the whole neighborhood. And me? Well, I was as proud as a black stallion. Yeah. Oh, Danny loves horses. But you can't keep a horse where we are, a bunch of tract homes. They got a horse over at the big house behind the wall, though. We go and look at it sometimes. I mean, I'm better than a horse, because you gotta feed a horse. You gotta give it a place to stay. And now me, I just need a little bit of tightening once in a while, a little oil in the old joints, and I'm ready to go. And when I'm not in use, all you gotta do is lean me up against the wall. I would prefer it, however, if you use my kickstand. I mean, I'm on my kickstand right now, which, is why I'm not leaning. I could lean. I've got nothing against leaning. It's just, sometimes when Danny's running late, he'll lean me. But when we get to school, he always uses my kickstand. My kickstand, it just lets you know I'm sturdy and I'm reliable. Besides, leaning's just a little too casual if you ask me. Oh, you see this right here across my front tube? A goose in flight. That's me. That's my name, Goose. Little Henry Goose, to be exact. Now, where the little and the Henry came in, I have no idea, but, somehow it just fits. Little Henry Goose. Yeah, that's me. Oh, you hear that sound? Oh, that means he's going to be coming out soon, so I can't really talk too much longer. There he is. Oh, he's with that one he calls Amy. Well, now they're walking over to her. What does she call that? Oh, her Schwinn? Ugh. What a stupid name. It looks funny, too. It's got a crossbar, slants down. They must have been cross-eyed when they put that thing together. Hey, wait a minute. He's not getting on my seat. Oh, no. Why is he doing this? Oh, I hate this. Why doesn't he just say, "Hey, Amy, I'll see you tomorrow," and then Danny and I can go and have some fun? No. Instead, we're gonna crawl along like goofballs just to keep Amy and her Schwinn company. I really hope he outgrows this and it's just a phase. You know, like the training wheels. All right, well, I gotta get going. See you around.
Members of the school board, thanks for this opportunity to speak. Superintendent Duncan thinks that we should have police officers in this school with loaded guns and wooden clubs on their belts. Well, I don't. Give me a chance here, Joe. Most of you know me. I'm Maggie Carpenter. I've been teaching English here for over 20 years. I love my job, but I will resign if police officers are stationed in our halls. A couple of years ago, I had a 10th grader, I'll call him Jason, who wrote a story about a bunch of watercress that went berserk in the refrigerator. Overnight, it shot out huge branches that burst through the sealed doors, coiling out like snakes. By the time he got up in the morning, the watercress had killed their cat. No, Darcy, I'm not kidding. I gave Jason an A+ and told him to see me after class. I asked him if his family really had a cat, and he said no, his sister was allergic. He made up the cat so the watercress could kill it. A few months later, Jason's class read Romeo and Juliet. I asked them to write about friendship. Jason wrote that a close friend makes you feel more confident, the way that Mercutio did for Romeo. But a friend that's forbidden is much more exciting, the way that Juliet was. The most thrilling friend he ever had, he wrote, was a Kimber Micro CDP 380, a truly elegant handgun. I asked Jason's parents to come in for a conference. His mother stormed in, outraged. She shouted, "Whether we have handguns in our house is absolutely none of your business." In the spring, we read the Emily Dickinson poem, "I Heard a Fly Buzz When I Died." Jason raised his hand in class and said, "There were flies in the cafeteria yesterday. Then you told us to read this poem. I recognized the signs. So I brought my friend to school with me. Today is the day." I froze for a moment. Then I told Jason to stay right where he was so we could finish our conversation. I told the rest of the students to go to the library. No questions, just go. I closed the door behind them. Then I sat down next to Jason, and I told him I wanted to meet his friend. He said nothing. Finally, he reached into his pants pocket and pulled out the gun. I held out my hand and waited until the gun settled on it. I thanked him. Then I locked the gun in my desk, and we walked down to the office together. Jason didn't come back to high school. After he was released from the psych unit, he was sent to boarding school. Do you have a comment, Walt? Yes, it was. It was a hell of a risk to take. But if there had been police officers in the school that day, do you think they could have locked that gun away before someone was shot? I was right there. I knew him. He listened to me because he trusted me. Trust is what makes my job feel like a calling. It's why kids sometimes write to me from college, the way that Jason did, or from Afghanistan, or from rehab. Shootings happen in American schools once every 4 weeks, and in almost every case, someone knew about it, the plan, and they said nothing. We need to teach everyone in this high school, teachers, custodians, coaches, everyone, how to recognize desperate young people, desperately lonely, or desperately angry, or desperately confused. We need to teach students how to recognize trouble and always, always report what they notice. Will some of those reports be unnecessary? Yes, of course, but no one will die from those mistakes. I want to be very clear. I will resign from this job that I love. If we bring police officers into this school, I will resign. I might be the only one, but what's that? What? Keisha Hammond says I'm not alone. Keisha's willing to put her job on the line. Marion? Terrific. Anyone else? Jamal? No, I know this isn't just about teachers, Peggy, but I can't ask custodian. Oh, wow, great. Teresa. Lamonte? Yes, I mean aides too, but Charlie? Oh my God, Charlie, you've been here longer than what, 30 years? I'm going to ask every employee of this school district, would you lay your job on the line to keep the police out? If we don't rely on force, then we will be responsible for safekeeping. That's a lot to ask. If you're with us, raise your hand. No. Better yet, stand up. Stand up. Wow. Members of the board, here we stand. Now vote to let us do our jobs. Thank you.
It is a relief. Yes, decidedly a relief to be out of that constant, clammy, corrosive London rain. And also a relief to be rid of that ridiculous masquerade. Ugh! The clothes! That foolish deerstalker hat, like Natty Bumppo pursuing creatures across the wilds of North America. And those habits, those damnable actorish habits, the violin scraping, the cocaine injections, the noxious chemicals, the even more noxious pipe tobacco, and the most contemptible habit of them all, that foul-witted, stumbling bumbler of a yes-man, Watson, around all the time. And why? Just to have an inferior to amaze with the most elementary tricks. It's like playing peekaboo with a puppy. Doctor. I'm sure that the graveyards are full of Dr. Watson's successful cases. Why, I would say that the good doctor has probably buried more men than I? Well, all right, I suppose it is true that I am responsible for the demise of a number of men. Not that it was ever my goal, nor did I ever take any pleasure in having them eliminated. Indeed, I often took extra pains to avoid the necessity of, well, all right, of having someone killed. But there were occasions where avoiding that was not practical. If one is in the way, one is in the way. even one that one would rather have remained alive, like Holmes. Holmes. He was useful to me in so many ways. He amused me. He challenged me, always keeping me at my best. And this is the most important, he kept the spotlight on himself. What an egoist he was. The headlines he pursued and achieved: Sherlock Holmes finds missing ruby. Clapham madman nabbed by Holmes. Baker Street brain solves another case. He was clever, Holmes, but his real genius was self-promotion. Pretending to give the official police all the credit, and yet somehow the truth always leaked out. And the truth was always spelled Holmes in capital letters. Just to make sure that his fame outlasted the daily newspapers, he produced those volumes full of his amazing adventures. Seriously, does anyone really believe a dolt like Watson capable of producing such work? He was just a dummy. Holmes the ventriloquist. Just more of Holmes's counterfeit humility. Still, as I say, useful to me. The public ate up accounts of Holmes' successes and made them feel safe, secure, protected. What need to fear with Sherlock Holmes on guard? And so, while London sat like a stuffed hare on its fat fundament, I carefully, quietly established my bureaucracy of crime. Everything organized, everything structured, from the pickpockets in Piccadilly to the accountants in Edinburgh. A smooth operation, just as I always wanted. Until Holmes interfered. He could not be satisfied. No, it did not matter that I had allowed him to conduct his affairs for years, even if they interfered with my activities. No, he had to exercise his hubris, or as the old Jews on the East End say, his chutzpah. And I had so wanted Holmes's career to continue. His clever, flamboyant career following his adventures was the only entertainment I had. When my activities reached a temporary pause, he provided the excitement that I craved. Holmes had his cocaine, I had Holmes. Still, I could not allow him to destroy what I had worked so hard to create. If I had, I would return to poverty, to impotence, to a miserable existence. I might as well have just remained a teacher of mathematics. And so, with great regret, I deduced that only one of us could survive. It was easy enough to concoct a plot that lured him to the Reichenbach Falls. Hardly a challenge for one who composed a treatise on the binomial theorem before the age of 21. And in dear little Switzerland, neutral for almost a decade, the perfect battlefield for the two greatest intellectual powers in the world. And so we met, and so we fought, and so we struggled. Until at last I grasped a branch that hung over the falls, wrenched myself free of his grip, and sent him over the edge with my heel. As he fell those 820 feet, I thought I heard him shout up to me, "Well played!" Ah, well. Perhaps yes, perhaps no. Most possibly a trick of the acoustics or my imagination. Still, it had been well played, and I had won. But victory, for the first time in my career, was not sweet. As I sat on the cliff, drenched and exhausted, looking down at the river foaming far below me, I was not satisfied. My enemy was gone. My rival, all right, I'll say it, my equal. And I was unique, alone. I had everything in the world I wanted, but it was a world without Sherlock Holmes. And so, being the brilliant thinker that you know me to be, I made my decision quickly. We would both survive. I would go off unobserved and transform myself. The dear little Swiss, masters of clockmaking and reconstructive surgery. I paid them well, showed them a likeness of Holmes, and they reconstructed. I was healed in less than a year, but just to be certain, I stayed in hiding 2 years more, overseeing the operations of my bureaucracy from a distance and biding my time. And so, when at last I returned to London and revealed myself to Watson, he exceeded my expectations at his stupidity. He swallowed whole the preposterous tale of how I, his dear friend Sherlock Holmes, not only escaped certain death, but also allowed him to grieve for years over my demise. Open arms! Open arms from Watson, from the public, from the police. Open arms for Sherlock Holmes. And so I have returned to his consulting detective practice, spending most of my time at Baker Street, disappearing periodically on some mysterious errand so I may oversee my flourishing bureaucracy of crime. Occasionally, I do commit a minor error of characterization. But Watson immediately attributes it to the lingering effects of the Reichenbach affair. And there are those who have the effrontery to claim that my performance as a detective has also been harmed by my near-fatal accident. The fools fail to recognize that I am as much a detective as Holmes ever was, and a good deal more. Well, now you know. I had to tell someone. It gets so tedious listening to the opinions of fools. Fools who I have fooled. But don't you ever be fooled. No, never think for a moment that I regret what I have done. No, I am glad that Sherlock Holmes is still alive, even if I must be him.
On the day you see me, you stop. Even you with your jagged edges and sharp corners, will become all gentle and quiet to not scare me away. On the day you see me, I will already have gone through my transformation. I am weightless now, colorful, translucent, a living, pulsating piece of art. Peaceful and tranquil I am. But I will not calm your fears, excitement, anxious anticipation of what might be. I will not. I cannot. It is also my nature to amplify the sound of your beating heart to a deafening pounding, to accelerate the speed of your beating heart to a neck-breaking race. In that moment, it will seem to you as if I have taken residence inside your trembling body. But I am kind and benevolent. I nurture and do not inflict pain. You, though, you could easily hurt me and push a needle through my heart on the day you see me. But I don't need to prove my strength to you. I have already proven it to myself. I pushed, persevered until I emerged, and my metamorphosis was complete on the day you see me. You know, you're not unlike me. A brief reality, a dream, a sensation beautiful, strong, yet incredibly fragile, pushing, persevering. On the day you see me, any moment now, I will be carried away with the wind, as you will be carried away on your given day, having gone through your own magnificent metamorphosis. And like me, you will be free. And if you are as fortunate as I am today, someone will have seen you. And now that I'm gone, and you are still pushing, struggling to emerge, remember now that as I was leaving, I ever so gently brushed your cheek with my kiss, the kiss of a butterfly.
Hello, my lovelies! Kayla Babe coming at you for my very first Hello, my lovelies! Kayla Babe coming at you for my very first Instagram live feed. Woohoo! Join me as I embark on my intimate personal journey in public. You've probably noticed that I look a lot like TikTok sensation Jenny Cohen. Thanks, I get that a lot. But Jenny and I have much more in common than just our looks, though.
I mean, we both enjoy going to parties, eating healthy, and oh, did I mention we go to the same school? I pass her every day in the hall. We're practically BFFs. Everybody loves Jenny. Anyway, I've decided to realize my dream of becoming an influencer just like Jenny Cohen. I mean, why not, right? Besides, I have something special that even Jenny doesn't have, just like Chloe, Courtney, Kendall, Kim, and Kanye. Kayla Babe starts with K! Jenny doesn't. I tried to point that out to her in school yesterday, but I don't think she heard me. She was surrounded by her bossy. She's super popular. Hey, I want to give a shout out to all my peeps in the chat room. Welcome, everyone. Oh, both of you. Don't forget to like, comment, or share. I'm sure Kayla Babe will be trending any minute now. My first segment is a review of that awesome new Chinese restaurant that opened up next to Yogurtland, the Wuhan Palace. Whatever's in this bag smells deliciously expensive. Ew, 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 gross, 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 Mom! Mom, I said I wanted Wuhan Palace, not Panda Express. I mean, influencers like me and Jenny Cohen wouldn't be caught dead eating fast food. Although Jenny once posted a selfie from a pop-up party where she was eating sliders, like, ugh. One of the Jonas Brothers was feeding them to her. I can't remember which one. That pic got like 1 million likes. Yeah, I was so happy for her. She totally deserves it. Let's move on to my beauty segment, shall we? I'm not one of those YouTubers who gets paid lots of money to endorse free cosmetics like that they don't even use. Unlike Jenny Cohen, everything I recommend is something that I use in my daily beauty routine. That's the Kayla Babe difference. Prepare to be blown away as I present the holy grail of beauty products. Oh! This was supposed to be Gwyneth Paltrow's Goop, not Johnson's baby shampoo. Believe me, Jenny Cohen and I would never use anything that could be bought at a pick and save. Oh, look, someone finally posted something in chat. Troll62 says, Kayla Babe, you are no Jenny Cohen. Oh yeah? Well, I got news for you, Troll62. Jenny Cohen is no Kayla Babe. She thinks she's so great with her rich parents and her movie star friends and her millions of followers. I asked Jenny to pose for one little selfie with me at school, and she said, I don't think so. The girl poses with avocado toast, but not with me. Well, now, one pic with her, I would have been an instant celebrity. Well, now I'm going to be the influencer. Jenny Cohen is on her way out. Nobody stays famous forever. It's my turn. I'm the fashion tastemaker. I'm special and I'm popular.
You want to know what I don't understand? Society's attitude towards cheating. It's so stupid. I mean,
Context matters. Infidelity is complicated. Oh, I know what you're thinking. This woman must be a slut. Well, first of all, I don't think that's even a word anymore, but I can tell you that if it is, then no. I am not a slut or a cougar or a heathen or a man-hater. I just think it's time we talk intelligently on the subject, especially since my husband's not around. So, this lady, Margaret Mead, once said that humans weren't meant to be together for more than 20 years. Well, back in ancient times, that was easy. It was a miracle if you lived to 30. Then the pox or the plague would get you. Nowadays, it's hard to run the 50, 60-year marathons without getting a little restless. It's only human nature to want to experiment with the full menu. We weren't all born geese, you know. So, this is important. There are several classifications of cheating. First, you got the open marriage thing, which has my blessing because it ain't really cheating at all if you give your spouse a heads up first. You know, like you're heading out the door looking for some nookie and you say something like, "Sweetie, I'm heading out the door looking for some nookie. Your meatloaf is in the fridge." I mean, who knows? Maybe you could turn it into one of those polyamory affairs. Not that I'm interested in that kind of thing. I am too old for that shit. Took me 2 years before I could even pronounce it. Besides, I couldn't imagine my husband prepping himself for that kind of action. He can't even get himself up to get a beer. Okay, next you got what I call the blip, the slip up. Guy goes to Vegas on a business trip or a bachelor party or something, gets hammered, bangs a hooker, and blacks out. Next morning, sobers up, feels a little trashy, and boom, books a flight home. What happened in Vegas? Stayed in Vegas. Yeah, it's icky, but it's harmless, right? Now, the next one is what I call the golden apple. The lie in your face, long-term affair. Now, far be it from me to judge, but I think this one crosses the line because everyone gets cheated in the end. Take a husband who's got a gold-digging, emaciated mistress on the side. As the cheater, he's screwing up his life with what he can't have. And his wife, the cheatee, she's getting screwed because she's not getting the love and devotion she signed up for. And the mistress, that rat, will probably always be number 2. I am proud to say that I have never fallen into that category. My brand of cheating isn't really cheating at all. I prefer to call it a correction. When you've been married, to the kind of jerk I've been stuck with all these years, you would understand. I'm the one who's been cheated. I'm the one who raised the kids and buried the dogs and entertained the relatives and fed the boundless ego day in and day out. My stolen moments with the grocery bagger, or the soccer coach, the UPS guy, the FedEx guy, the Amazon guy, fleeting as they may be, are well-earned and incredibly satisfying. My friends are like, "Marjorie, 1 hour of bliss is all it takes for a lifetime of pain." You know what? It's worth it. Besides, it only hurts if you get caught. My husband, too clueless to even notice. I'll never forget when our minister told us the day we got married 100 years ago. He said, Kenneth, Marjorie, I want you to remember the 3 C's of marriage and cherish them forever because they will help sustain you through difficult times. They are communication, commitment, and compromise. Ha! Let me tell you what the 3 C's of marriage really are. Craftiness, cunning, and correction. Yeah, correction. Now that's not complicated.
Oh, thank you. This is just so... I love you all so much. I mean, I can't imagine celebrating my big day with any other group of humans other than you. Thank you so, so much. This divorce wouldn't be the same without you. So, the divorce isn't for another month. I didn't realize how much planning goes into a divorce, but I have found an amazing divorce planner. Her rates are really reasonable. Oh, and Parker and I still haven't decided on our theme. We're still choosing between amicable parting or moving on gracefully. Although I'm a fan of que sera, sera. Oh, I already have a dress in mind. You know, I wasn't sure if I wanted to go sleeves or no sleeves, but the silhouette was easy. I knew I wanted a pantsuit, something that said professional and impersonal, but still showed off my legs and rockin' bod. So, Parker and I couldn't decide if we wanted to have a winter or a spring divorce. It was a tough call. I mean, there's something so magical about a spring divorce. We just fought, and in the end, we decided we couldn't wait for a spring divorce and set the court date for this winter. Anyone need a top off on their rosé? Or is it time we moved on to tequila? Oh, thank you so much for these broken heart-shaped cookies, Cindy. Oh, it must have taken you forever to split them all right down the middle. I wasn't sure about this black frosting at first, but it is delicious. Thank you, Cindy. Well, is anyone ready for another game of pin the tail on the biggest alimony payment? Or how about separation settlement bingo? Or we can finally get around to breaking open that Cupid-shaped piñata. Cupid can suck it. Right! The presents! Although, Marcy's gift of downloading all those dating apps onto my phone and setting up the profiles was just fantastic. Thank you so much, Marcy. Oh, Jen, as you're the events photographer, if you take any good pictures of me that I could put on those sites, let me know. Let's see. Oh. Ooh. The worst is behind you. I know you and Parker will thrive apart, living meaningful, separate lives. Wishing you both the best on your conscious uncoupling. Thank you, Cindy. Oh, let's see. What? Oh. Bath salts? Oh, liberated lavender. Ooh. Oh, yes, I can never get enough bath salts. Thank you, Karen. Let's see. Oh, Shirley. I love it. It's perfect for staying in and watching the First Wives Club in. Thank you, Shirley. Oh, let's see. Oh, it's freshly signed divorce paper scented. Oh, yes. You know, I have a swinging single-scented candle that I just finished up last night. You know, it's better to light a candle than curse in the darkness. Thank you, Glenn. Oh, card. Oh, dearest Andrea, honey, you must be feeling so stressed and unsettled. Stressed and unsettled? I'm empty, guilty, anxious, depressed, livid, and then bawling my eyes out at 3 a.m. when I'm trying to sleep. You know, I've had to put into storage everything that reminds me of Parker, which is most of what I own. My finances are a hot mess. I've had 3 parking citations this week alone, but besides that, I'm great. Really. As you mourn the loss of your partnership, please feel free to reach out to me if you... Thanks, Vanessa, I will. Oh! It's an industrial strength grater, like the one you got us for our wedding present. It had a lifetime guarantee, unlike the groom. Parker got ours. Parker really loved cooking. You know, he used to use this grater to put fresh lemon on gnocchi and asparagus. Oh God, he really knew how to saute asparagus. I mean, it was perfect. Not too soft, still crisp. I mean, nobody likes soggy, stringy, overcooked asparagus. Great gift, Vanessa. Thanks. Oh, I've been working on my vows. I, Andrea Collins, promise to practice self-love, self-care, and self-compassion from this day forward, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, from this day forward till death. Oh, and I can't forget about the romantic honeymoon with myself. I was thinking for my romantic rendezvous by myself that I would maybe take a weekend at Heavenly Spa Services or maybe Pure Bliss Massages, although I hear Las Vegas is great this time of year. Thank you all so much. I can't imagine going through all this without you. Well, since we're all here, I thought that I would share something with you. A surprise about the little bundle of joy I am not expecting. That's right. I've decided to not have any kids. None. 0. It's the least I can do for the environment. Yes, I know, I'm so excited. I've always meant not to have kids, so this is really a dream come true. Yes, thank you, Shirley. Yes, I know I'll be great at not being a mother. It just comes so naturally to me. You know, my lack of maternal instincts. So as far as gifts for the no baby shower, I'm registered at Macy's, but feel free to give me anything off that list. Oh, it's just the normal things on a no baby shower registry. I'm gonna need a really great alarm clock for all the extra full nights of sleep I'll be getting. Oh, and a new bikini for all the extra vacations I'll be able to afford and have time for, not having any kids. Anyone ready for ice cream straight out of the carton? Oh, yes, and we have that 3-tier just divorce cake. Isn't the decapitated groom's head just adorable? You're right, Cindy. It's time to put on my tiara, boa, and divorce diva sash and get ready for a night on the town. This divorce debutante is ready for a night to remember. Here comes the ex-bride.
Someone asked me the other day if I've ever been in love. Well, I started to say no. But then I started to think of the many shades of this four-letter word. The complicated shade, the messy shade, the beautiful shade. And then one shade in particular hit me the hardest. That's when I started thinking about my best friend, Susan. Susan and I met in kindergarten. It was Valentine's Day, and Susan left this little heart-shaped Valentine at my station with a little note on it saying, "I like you," with a little heart on it. Well, I walked right up to her that afternoon at our class party, and I gave her my pack of M&Ms. And she gave me a peck on the cheek. We were inseparable ever since. All throughout elementary school, we'd do our homework together. We'd play at recess together, and we'd even cheer each other on at each other's sporting events. But then it was time to go to high school, which meant Susan and I had to go our separate ways. Now, luckily, our parents got us flip phones so we could still communicate. But not seeing Susan every day was a lot to process. The first couple years were fine. Susan and I would still hang out after school. We'd still do our homework together. But then junior year came, and well, that's when everything changed. Susan became a cheerleader at the end of her sophomore year. She was so beautiful and so talented. So it didn't really come to a shock. That's also the year she met her high school sweetheart. His name was Ricky. Ricky Johnson. Ricky was one of the best players on the football team. And he was quite the gentleman. He was everything Susan wanted, and then some. From that point on, anytime Susan and I would hang out, Ricky would be right there. And when it was time to go to college, Ricky got a scholarship to play football. And Susan was literally right there beside him, cheering him on from the sidelines on the school's cheerleading team. But she never forgot about me. She invited me to every game. She called whenever she could. She sent texts. She even wrote letters. Oh, and she always offered to pick me up from the airport whenever I came in for the holidays, because I went to another school across the country. To the outside world, Susan and Ricky looked like a match made in heaven. Which is why it came to no surprise that when Ricky asked Susan to marry him on their graduation day, she said yes, without hesitation. She called me with the news, and I could hear the giddiness in her voice. On one hand, of course, I was ecstatic that my best friend was marrying the man of her dreams. But on the other, well, I was hurting because she wasn't marrying me. Susan, you see, Susan wasn't just my first love. She was my only love. I've gone all of these years in silence for fear of rejection. standing there on her wedding day as her man of honor, just wishing Ricky and I could trade places. Just filled with sadness and regrets. I regret letting my fear of rejection scare me into silence. I regret letting my Susan get away. So yes. I have been in love. I've seen love in its many shades. But the shade of unrequited love, that will stay with me for eternity. Because I live that shade every day.
It was an opportunity I worked tirelessly to get. I mean, for years I kept my nose to the grindstone, played the necessary politics to position my career, and battled my way up the ranks. And finally, my day had come. I was going to present the annual product strategy to the global sales team, which I guess I should probably mention is 70% comprised of women. So now I'm the first to admit I'm not a tech guy. I mean, I'm not some geeky game playing, code writing, Windows or Apple fanatic. I mean, I can barely create a slide presentation, which was probably my downfall. Now, see, my focus in life has been on building relationships and the gift of gab. You know, it's my girlfriend, well, actually not my ex-girlfriend, who always had her eyes glued to the screen, you know, downloading the latest program, fixing blue screen glitches, keeping my laptop running faster. She was the one who took care of my computer. You know, I mean, if I had a problem, well, or even thought that I had a problem, my tech support was Jenny. Yeah. In hindsight, I'm starting to think that protecting a computer against an anonymous Russian hacker might be a little less important than protecting it against a vindictive partner. But the chance to shine in front of an audience of hundreds of sales associates and via the internet, hundreds more across the globe is in my grasp. It was the biggest audience that I had ever addressed. You know, I was off there on the side of the stage with my laptop in my hand while the CEO was just piling ego-boosting praise on all the work that I had done. You know, and as I was being introduced, my entire body was just saturated in this warm, satisfying energy that shouted, "I have made it! I earned the praise and the respect of top management, and now was my opportunity to excel in front of the entire organization." I mean, talking in front of people has never really been a problem for me. You know, no butterflies or nervous stomach here. No, I loved the stage. I loved the warmth of the applause. And I have always been deeply motivated by the respect that I have received from a group of new sales associates. So, that afternoon, I bounded out there onto the stage with all the youthful energy of, well, this generation. And as I was hooking my laptop up to the projection system, I shouted out, "Hey, how's everybody doing today?" It got a nice response. But one wants more. So I said, "I can't hear you." That got a roar. That's what I'm talking about. Now, I know that you can't wait to see all the great new products that our design team have come up this year for you to sell. And with that, I clicked my computer presentation mouse, expecting the first slide to be an admittedly boring title sheet. But it got a roar that made my entry seem like a muffled fart. I mean, the gasp, the laughter, the applause, totally not appropriate for a welcome global sales team slide. So, when I spin around to see the giant screen, which now has a photo of me wearing my now ex-girlfriend's red Victoria's Secret panties and bra, my heart sinks to my feet. My stomach shoots up to my throat. And when they cross mid-body, my breath explodes out of my chest like that creature from Alien. It was that double shot of adrenaline shock that just pierced my heart. It doesn't matter why the picture exists. All I can say is that at one point, my girlfriend and I were playful and crazy. But instead of a warranted explanation, which, by the way, would have been way out of place anyway, all that I managed was this spontaneous outburst of, "That fucking cunt!" Which came out of me like a belch that you couldn't hold back, and rippled through the auditorium over my hot mic and was transported around the world in a real-time flash. As my head dropped, I could see my career falling off a cliff. I mean, I was sweating like I had just eaten an entire bowl of raw Thai chili peppers, and it was making my stomach roar louder than the audience was howling. Now, I tried to recover with a small shield of humor, you know. Just a little joke, everybody. Loosen everyone up. I stammered, choking on my own humiliation. And then I hit the computer button again, but it didn't get any better, see, because I was looking off at the CEO who was standing off the side of the stage. But instead of sympathy, I felt his scorn mirrored the look on Jenny's face when she stormed out of our apartment 2 days earlier. But that was not as cutting as when I heard the howl come up from the audience when they saw the next picture of me. Well, actually, of my dick. Now, I can look back and say that I always thought that dick pics were a form of private communication. And the audience probably wouldn't have even known it was mine, except for the fact that you could still kind of barely see those red undies. So, of course, after I rip the cable out of my laptop and I rush off the stage in a final panic, all I can say now is that I have learned 2 lessons in life. 1, never use your girlfriend as your private IT tech. And driving for Uber these last few weeks really hasn't been as bad as I thought it would be.
My 7-year-old son never listens. Do your chores, brush your teeth, put your clothes in the hamper. He doesn't listen. I find socks, t-shirts, shorts in a line from the back door all the way to the living room where he's lying on the couch in his underwear watching TV. Can you imagine how frustrating it is to be telling someone the same thing over and over again and have the words mean absolutely nothing at all? I guess I don't always listen either. Like the first time my son told me he was a boy. Or the second, third, 100th time he told me he was a boy. I listened to his doctors when they laid him in my arms and said, "It's a girl," and set us up for 6 heartbreaking years. You build on those words. You set expectations. You expect to watch Disney princess movies and braid hair, talk about having babies one day. You shouldn't, but you do. His 3rd birthday, he wanted a Toy Story theme. He wanted to go as Woody with cowboy boots and a hat. I heard him, but I didn't listen. Oh, I found Toy Story boots, brown and light up, but then I forced him into a red dress, white tights, and a pink cowboy hat, because that's what I thought a 3-year-old girl should wear. I felt proud of myself for raising a daughter who was challenging gender norms, like that somehow made me a better mom or a more admirable person. What other people thought was so important to me. Listening to what other people thought was more important to me than listening to my son and his needs and his thoughts on who he was. In supporting my son through his transition, caring about what other people thought was my biggest struggle, and learning not to care what anybody else thinks has been the greatest and most life-changing lesson of all. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't discourage my son from farting loudly in public and announcing it to the room, but it does mean that if someone apologizes to me for my child and our situation, I'm going to speak up. Nobody needs to be sorry for me or for my son. He is healthy and intelligent, courageous, and nearly perfect. Yeah, he's loud and sassy and sometimes downright disrespectful, and his feet stink to high heaven when he takes his shoes off, and he's got a bad attitude about math and chores or any kind of work at all, and yeah, sometimes he doesn't listen. Like when I tell him to close the back door when he comes into the house, or to put away the clothes that I spent hours washing and folding instead of leaving them where his baby brother will throw them all over the floor. Or when I tell him not to eat something that has fallen to the ground, because there is no such thing as a 2-minute rule. It's a 5-second rule, and that's still questionable when it's pizza cheese side down. Or like when his mother and father told him he was a girl. His grandparents and teachers and doctors told him he was a girl. His red dress and white tights and pink cowboy hat told him he was a girl. His whole world, everything and everyone he knew and loved and trusted and believed in, we all told him something that he was that he knew he wasn't. But my son, he never listens.
Well, here I am. Welcome to the afterlife. Let me tell you, it is hot here. Maybe the air conditioning is out or something. Come to think of it, I haven't seen a single angel floating around. No harps either. But there's plenty of your mother's potato salad. Wait, you don't think this is the other place? Damn those unpaid parking tickets. Come on, that was funny. Smile. Jeez, tough room, who died? Well, if you're watching this, then I guess me.
Hey, remember what we said? No tears. We all knew this day was coming. The chemo just isn't enough. Sometimes bodies are like that. They have their expiration date. You say that I'm a fighter, but there you are, holding my hand every step of the way. You've been an amazing partner. I never would have come this far without you. You know I'll always be with you, right? Oh, not here. There, haunting you from the mantle. You better not remarry a blonde. I swear I will turn poltergeist. Don't you roll your eyes. I will. That green pea soup and everything. Wait, that's The Exorcist. You know what I mean. Okay, here it goes. I am Sam Walker, and this video will accompany my last will and testament. This is proof that I am of sound mind at the time of signing. I did it. I know I was never one to follow through, but look at me. This time, I took care of everything. It's all in writing, signed, witnessed, the attorney is ready to file it. It's not like when we lived in the basement apartment and I filled the dishwasher with regular soap instead of detergent. I can still see our poor cat floating by, perched on his cereal box. I thought for sure when you got home you were going to be pissed, but you just laughed and said, "We better get Sprinkles a snorkel before I tried the washing machine." Can you believe that was 5 years ago? Right before they found the mass. Everything after that moved so fast. A whirlwind of doctors and specialists, and we tried to live our life between appointments. Life changed before our eyes. Whoever would have thought that that day would be our last laugh before cancer knocked down the door on our perfectly normal little life? Definitely not Sprinkles. I keep replaying all these little snapshots of us. It's like I'm cramming for a test. I don't know exactly when, but I know it's coming. What I do know is that cancer fucking sucks. But worse than all of this is losing you. So I tuck them all in here so I can take them with me. I don't want to leave a single memory out because they're all I have left. They're what cancer can't take from me, from us. I thought the treatments were terrible, but this, right here, right now, this is the hardest thing I've done. I know I make jokes, Sarah, but it's the only way to stop the walls from closing in. These 4 walls are feeling more like a box every day. I miss you already. How is that even possible? You know, I've had to stop and grieve so many times along the way, I forgot what normal feels like. But not when you're next to me. Thank you for that. And I should tell you one more thing. You were right. About what? Everything. You always are. There, I said it. Well, this really must be hell because you always said it would be a cold day there before I ever admitted that. See, I was listening. Okay, well, this guy with a pitchfork is telling me to wrap things up, so I should get going. You know how much I love you. All kidding aside, you made my life worth living.
Dearest Eliseo, I know it's been far too long since I wrote. Unfortunately, the years since we last met have not been kind, especially with Piotr's untimely demise to tuberculosis these 5 years past. But dear Christian, my new husband, has been so good to me and the children in the intervening years. Almost as good, if you don't mind me saying, as poor dear Ludwig was to you, even in his illness, even at the end. Anyway, darling, I'm addressing this letter to Ludwig's old flat in Vienna. I hope you don't mind, I still think of it that way. In case you're still there, I hope you are. I know how dearly he loved it. He'd want you to be there, you know. But I digress. Eliseo, darling, I'm writing today not just because I miss you, but of course I do, and think of you oftener than you know, but because I have something important to tell you. Do you remember my hapless copywriter brother, the one who lost that beautiful bagatelle of Ludwig's Für Eliseo, I believe it was called? And I cannot apologize enough for his error, by the way. Well, his son, who took over the copywriting business on my brother's passing, has found the manuscript. 24 years lost and wonderfully intact. Of course, he published it immediately, our dear Ludwig being who he was. Unfortunately, my nephew made a teeny tiny mistake. Either he translated the dedication wrong or assumed something he should not have. I don't know. But I wanted you to hear it from me before the piece catches on back in Vienna and you hear the news from a stranger. You see, it's already been a sensational hit here. They're calling it some of his best work. A masterpiece, even. And I cannot disagree. It's quite a work of genius, far more than I thought all those years ago back in Vienna. But back to that bit of bad news. Your sweet Für Eliseo was misdedicated. They're calling it Für Elise. Elise! A woman's name. Can you imagine? I bet if Ludwig were around today, he'd be laughing. I hope you can laugh when you're ready. Anyway, darling, dinner awaits, and my dear husband does hate to eat too late. But Kristin and I will be back in Vienna in the fall, visiting old friends. I hope you can find it in yourself to sup with us one night, if you're in town. Your presence otherwise would be sorely missed. Love to you always. And I apologize again for the misdedication. Just know when you read it, your dear Ludwig had only you in his heart. Hoping to see you in the fall. But please know you always are invited to visit Kristin and me should you end up in Amsterdam sometime. Love, always and ever your friend, Victoria.
Oh, no, they just require so much attention these days. I don't have room for that in my life. And have you seen the amount of food they consume? I work 2 jobs and I'd still go into debt trying to foot that bill. I mean, I can barely take care of myself.
I can't even begin to imagine adding another piece to that equation. Besides, I've already got Sparky. Oh, the 2 of us do just fine on our own. He's my Balinese short hair. My cat? You should know this already. Don't you follow us on social media? Ugh. Okay. Oh, well, remind me to send you Sparky's Instagram handle before you go. He is literally my world. I actually just bought a new cat tree for his room the other day. Of course he has a room. Sparky deserves to have his own space, and it's not like my roommate really needed it. Anywho, there's only like 7 cat trees in there right now, but I have 8 more waiting in my Amazon shopping cart. I can't buy them until after this weekend. I'm paying an artist friend from Cali to paint a mural in Sparky's bedroom. Get this, it's gonna be a rainforest. Ah, isn't that exciting? It's my theme for his whole room. Rainforest. I'm also thinking of getting some shelves to go where the trees are gonna be on the wall so he can climb them like they're real branches, you know? That way he can feel like he's experiencing nature inside his room. Oh, maybe I can get some moss to hang from the shelves to like enhance the vibe. Duh, it'll be fake. Garden moss from Home Depot wouldn't grow in that sunlight. I'll probably just buy something on Amazon and add it to the order I've already got started. Look, I know it's better to shop small and support the local economy, but like, I went all out for Small Business Saturday this year, and I made all those posters for those poor retail workers that went on strike last December. So, you know, I'm doing what I can. By the way, thank you for taking your lunch with me. I usually just get by with the smoothie, but today I had an excuse to splurge on some real food. I don't really have the money to buy full meals on a regular basis, but now that Sparky's had all of his shots and surgeries, I can really start cushioning my savings again. Oh, speaking of having money to spend, what do you think of these green ropes? I'm thinking of buying some to hang from the ceiling in Sparky's bedroom so they look like vines. They're only like $40 for each of them, which really isn't that bad when you think about it. Well, I'll just keep them in there for now. To answer your question from before, I would have to say, no, I'm not looking for a boyfriend right now. I can't make that commitment to someone else.
I'm sorry to have to tell you this, but Clarence, our dear friend and co-worker, passed away peacefully in his sleep at the intersection of Main and 7th. The police say that he just laid down, perhaps to take a nap or rest himself by the side of a major intersection. Not even so far to the side of the middle, and more like in the middle just as a bus was sort of occupying the same space. He just lay down. The police say he didn't suffer. It was over in a splat, in an instant. In an instant. Yes, so tragedy. And I guess it's my responsibility as regional office manager to say a few words. I do have a speech I was going to make on his behalf tomorrow. I'm sure I could just change a few things here. Let's see. Friends and co-workers. No. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here to celebrate a man who was always at the top of his game, was always at the top of his game, and to celebrate him winning the Toyota. No, to mourn his passing. No Toyota. No, skip that part. Skipping, down. Sales record, great. He will be missed, just not by that bus. And his sales record, and well, nothing's been tallied yet, and Okay, I see this is going to have to be a management decision. So here's how it's going to work, okay? One day, winner who takes all the sales for today gets Clarence's tally added to theirs. Sudden death. Bad. Not good phrasing. Not good phrasing. But you get the gist. End of the day's sales, okay? And with Clarence gone, we no longer have a full roster for the company inter-office championship softball team. And you know how Mr. Carson feels about any division whose budget to player ratio goes over target. So we're probably looking at a couple of layoffs in the next week or so. So the two at the bottom of the list, you might want to update your resumes. We can't be certain. Nothing's really decided yet, but yeah, it's Carson, so it's going to happen. And I just want to say that whoever wins the car, I think it would be super nice and a consolation if it were that you give the other two a ride if they happen to need it to the unemployment office or homeless shelter. You know, just be friendly, a lift. That's all I'm saying. Okay, all right. Let's get to work.
I'm Dolores the plumber. I doctor bad pipes and clogged commodes on call 24/7. I've seen a lot of crap in my profession. So, it's New Year's Eve, and me and my Harvey have got big plans for a hot date. We're going into the city for one of those New Year's Eve posh package deals. A masquerade ball with dinner, dancing, popping champagne corks at midnight. It's 7 o'clock, and I'm getting myself all gussied up in my Marie Antoinette costume rental when I get a call from this guy Chester over in Coney Island. He says he has got a major toilet backup. Damn, I don't want this job. I tell him it's gonna be time and a half on account of it being a holiday. He tells me he's desperate. I tell him I take all major credit cards, no checks. I text Harvey and let him know why I'll be running late. 30 minutes later, I'm over at this guy Chester's apartment, suited up in my signature hot pink Dolores the plumber jumpsuit and ball cap. I keep spares in the van. I put my waders on, mask up, ring the doorbell. Chester answers. We head into the bathroom. A commode in critical condition and a flooded loo. I mean, it's a turd toilet tundra looking like past a simple plunging procedure. Whew. Yeah. I shut off the intake valve and hit the floor with my super suction wetback. I get down to business. I asked Chester, did he flush any unusual materials? No, he says, just my usual. Right, that's what they all say. I had one customer who set his pet salamander up for a final swim, and another with a toddler who sent his little Hot Wheels for a drive through the city sewer systems. Next step, scope out the cause of Chester's commode conundrum. I text Harvey and tell him I'll just meet him at the Marriott and to save my fancy supper. To get down to business, I discover the culprit. I fish out a stack of Chester's used condoms. Oh, he tells me he has no idea how they got there. Right? He pays up, and I'm out of there. So, now I've got my own dilemma. I'm already 30 minutes late, and how am I gonna fast track home, shower, change, and get to Midtown like lickety-split? My pops always says, where there's a will, there's a way. A woman's gotta do what a woman's gotta do. I meet Harvey at the Marriott, and he is looking good as King Louis XVI. He tells me I look fabulous. Then I arrive just in time for judging, and I beg off. He drags me up the escalator into the ballroom and into the numbered sequence of the judging line. I'm number 314. So there we are, sandwiched between two guys dressed up like Rocky and Bullwinkle and a Raggedy Ann and Andy. The two judges get over to Harvey and me and look us over. First Harvey, then they move on to me. Unique, clever, just darling, the male judge says. A social statement relevant to our times, the female judge says, before moving on to Raggedy Ann and Andy. We head back to our table, and a wait person brings us over a fancy bottle of red wine. 15 minutes later, I'm served up this delicious melt-in-your-mouth filet mignon meal. It was worth the wait. The band starts up, old-time rock and roll. I'm loving it and thinking, all's well that ends well. I'm just finishing up my divine dessert, chocolate cheesecake, when the judges take the stage and commandeer the band mics. They're doling out awards for best this, best that. I'm not paying any attention. Suddenly, Harvey's on his feet. They just called number 314. That's you! You just won for best feminist costume. I take my stunned self to the stage, and suddenly, the whole crowd's applauding, and suddenly, I'm feeling damn proud standing up there in my Dolores the Plumber jumpsuit and ball cap. The prize, a free night stay at the Midtown Marriott. Who could have bet that just being me could beat out Marie Antoinette? It gets better. At midnight, Harvey popped the champagne. Then he popped the question, Dolores, will you marry me? Hell yeah, I said. I think it's going to be a very happy new year.